This one's called To Ellaz and Back to the Lilac Gardens of Lyndsey, because when I wrote this one, I was in Greece. Ellaz is the ancient name of, or Hellas is the ancient name of Greece, and it means something like the sun. Lilac Gardens of Lyndsey up in Ontario, where my brother lives near Fenelon Falls, and I wrote the music there. So I wrote the words in one continent and the music on another, and here it goes. Your hospitality was most welcome for the tiring traveler whose eyes dimmed with the closing sun. I blinked my last and darkness fell upon me, a most comforting journey through the descent into Ellaz. For here I struck up one last flame to reunite my soul with the quiet massing, awaiting the turn to levitate the mortal bodies back into a world of earth and water, air and fire, and with them the sparks of eternal youth and rapturous joy. I am the phoenix in my rising, years have passed by. In the hours of my slumber, and what a Byzantium feast awaited me, fit for a returning king. Cereals of many grains and sweets of many foods, stimulants for my renewed venture into the heart of the sun. I am raised upon the days filled with the fat of the land, and now I must give back to these peoples of these ancient lands, return them to the economy of nature. Let the flame of Olympus bathe every man and beast, and plan to equal sustenance, so that once again we can feed off the foods from the gods. Every berry, leaf and root, and let's not forget the flower that draw our souls, oh, into nectaries of gold. And here only God commands life, no failing human convention will denude it. Oh, no, 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 no. Man must learn to live again. Let the flame of Olympus burn every man and beast, and plant to equal sustenance, so that once again we can feed off the foods from the gods. Every Yeah, let's not forget the flower, the joy of souls. Oh, into nectaries of gold. And here only God commands life. No failing human convention will denude it. Oh, no, 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 no. Man must learn to live again. It's an interesting song, that one, because I'm half Greek, but not from mainland Greece, from Cyprus. But I studied Greek mythology and philosophy to a certain degree, as a natural extension when I was studying Roman culture, because I basically saw a huge amount of ancient Roman ruins on my travels. And this was when I was going to Palestine on a bicycle, and I was going through the north of Greece, through Thessalonica, or Thessaloniki. And I met some lovely people there, but I contracted some sort of disease when I was on the bike, and I never pinpointed what the actual problem was. But basically, after exiting a lake, I went for a quick wash, and it could have been pollution. I hung around this park, and I met a chef of a small little outlet there, and he made me some meat. And that night, my skin started to come up in blotches, and if I scratched, it would spread literally within minutes. And at one point, I nearly scratched myself to death. I was actually in my hammock, and I thought, this is it. I'm just gonna, someone's gonna come by and find me cocooned in this hammock. It was that awful, and it lasted for about 2 weeks. But the strength to get through that necessitated me continuing the bike ride. So maybe there was a reaction with the sweat as well. But the point being is that when I got on a bike and I just pedaled, and I just kept on going and going, and I was doing 170, 200 kilometers a day, I think, at that stage. I never thought about the idea of scratching my body. And then something happens. You meet somebody, and I was on my way down to look at another ruin, and I asked some directions from I think he was Austrian, who was married to another Austrian, or he was, yes, I think so. And but once they used to live in Lebanon, and they've built their own incredible house, and it's all there on the website. I took pictures of it. It's absolutely magnificent. And they said, straight down the hill, but why don't you come in for a cup of coffee? So I did. And they said, well, you can have some dinner with us and stay the night if you want. So I stayed the night, and then they said, you can stay another night. And then I stayed another night, and then you can stay another night. And so I did. And I had a guest house all of my own. And the most wonderful food, because she was a chef. And she had an outdoor observatory built for her by her husband also. So they were absolutely incredible people. And if it wasn't for them, I may have died, because I still had the infection. Being in the guest house, I was entitled to take as many showers as I wanted to, under secrecy in a strange way. And I was doing these hot showers to get my circulation going all the time, and literally burning my skin with hot water so I can pump the blood around my body. In retrospect, I think that was an intuitive decision, because what it actually does, it purifies your blood. and it cleans it. It pushes it through your organs, like, your livers and your kidneys and stuff like that, and it cleans the blood at the same time. And I think that was the problem. My organs were being choked up, and whether it was food poisoning or something I contracted from the lake, it doesn't matter. My saviours were there, and my situation to allow me to continue my journey across Turkey, because I wasn't that far from the Turkish border, allowed me to persevere. And I went back again to visit them, and they allowed me to stay there for about a week or two, and as a gardener, and we had a lot in common in that sense. So when you think you're near to death, if you believe that you have a special mission in life, a quest, and you do something extraordinary with that energy, you may just find that it knows what you're going to actually come up against, and prepares it. But you must keep your ears and eyes open, and your feelings receptive to the signs that you may see in the environment. There's a natural prophetic quality about being close to God. Take that message to heart. And I know a lot of people are losing loved ones, and sometimes we need to approach death to be able to find ourselves.